this past weekend's UFC 261 was a can't miss event. And every time UFC happens, every punch, kick, and knockout means so much more with DraftKings lineup on the line. DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the UFC, is giving you a shot at huge cash prizes. For this weekend's fight, DraftKings is offering all players a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy MMA is easy to play. Just pick 6 fighters, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for advances, takedowns, and more. There's no better way to put your MMA knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Plus, don't forget about basketball and hockey, where DraftKings has even more money up for grabs throughout the week. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your funds at your convenience. Download the DraftKings app now. Use the promo code THPN to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes throughout the week. The promo code is THPN to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
You are now tuned in to the Windy City Benders podcast. This is WCBP.
All right, take 2 of the WCB podcast. I feel like a fucking idiot. Oh, also part of the Hockey Podcast Network. So we just did about 20 minutes of our episode, realizing
it was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, the recording never took place. So yeah, let's hurry up and fucking redo this because you gotta go.
That's hilarious.
All right, so what we were just talking about for half an hour is the Hawks blew it this week against Nashville.
Yeah.
Fuck, I closed all my tabs out as I was going through everything.
You're such an idiot.
That's
fucking hilarious.
Bitch.
But yeah, Hawks went fucking 1-2 against Nashville. We definitely needed more than that.
Yeah, last week we said they have to go take 2 out of the 3. Didn't happen.
No.
So yeah, all right. So for Monday,
even a regulation win would have been nice, but that didn't happen either.
No. Monday, the Hawks dropped it 5-2 against Nashville. I'm just making sure this is recorded yet. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that game was just brutal. I mean, the third period just fucking killed us. The first minute of it. Whereas it's just fucking in front of the net. All in front of the net. Fucking Connor Murphy, I don't know if you noticed, actually, Connor Murphy 2 games in a row lost his helmet and then Nashville scored.
Yeah. Wasn't there one point too, like he was playing with the strap around his eyes?
I don't know.
People were making fun of him like it was like
he needs to fucking tighten his fucking bucket or something because that's ridiculous. And I know on the first game, well, I can't remember what the day it was, Monday. They were, I think it was Eddie Olczyk that was saying like this is a playoff atmosphere game, and like even in the playoffs, I know the rule is like if you lose your helmet, you either put it on or you get a penalty. But you got to know that like this is a fucking like you have to win. Like if you have to play without a fucking helmet just to make sure that they don't score, just take the fucking penalty.
Yeah,
like I don't like. To me, that was just insane because it's just like you casually skate off the ice because your bucket came off. And it's like, man, fuck that. Like, take the penalty. Like, if it's the same shit of like, if it looks like it's going to be a guaranteed goal, just fucking take a penalty. Like
it's like grabbing a guy,
2 minutes.
It's like pulling a guy down on a breakaway or
yeah.
There's smart penalties and there's dumb penalties. Something like that would have been a smart penalty.
Yeah. And then, like that leads to a goal for Tanner Jeannot or whatever, and then not even a minute later, fucking they're back in like flying into our zone. Keith just loses his fucking feet, and then Luke Kunin's just standing right in front of the net and like gets an easy fucking tip in. It was just
I think that's
a close game up until then.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying in the first attempt to record this is just that's been the defensive issue of our team this year is that we are terrible in front of our net. We either are in the corner, both defensemen are in the corner trying to get the guy, leaving the guy wide open in front, or we are just letting the opposing team just set up shop right in front of the crease, and we're not making their life difficult to help clear out for Lincoln and Subban and all that. Like, we're just letting them sit there. There's no pushing. There's no like, trying to drag them out. It's just free game.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, always leaving the goalies hanging out to dry with guys just right in their face, and it's shitty. Other than that, like, DeBrincat scores his 23rd on the power play from Suter and Kane. Like, I love it. Like, DeBrincat has just been unbelievable this year. Like, honestly, him and Kane are just so fucking good. DeBrincat, I think, is going to be like an elite fucking player.
And it's just funny because I remember talking before the season started, we were all excited because this year was going to be like Dot's coming out party. Like, it was going to be like, okay, this is Kirby Doc. Here we are. This is who I am. Let's go. I think it's turned into like the DeBrincat's coming out. Like, I'm an elite player. You have to worry about me. I'm
not just a sniper. I'm a two-way guy. Yeah. He's so fucking good.
And David Camp scored his first of the year.
Yeah, baby. It's been, I think they said like 49 games since he scored or something like that. But yeah, and then Adam Gaudette got his first assist in his first game as a Hawk. So that was pretty neat to see.
Yeah. So then you go fast forward to Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday
or Tuesday. Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah.
And Suter scores his 13th of the year. So you think, the boys are feeling it. They're going to step up. They're going to make up for that last game. And then they go and let up 4 unanswered goals.
Not what you want to see when you need a win.
No. And then that's like that at that point, like I said, I turned off the game for a little bit because I was just like, what's the point? Like, watching this when this team doesn't give a shit. Like, they're done. Like,
they just couldn't, like, you can just feel it. Like, you just can't beat Nashville. Like, the Hawks just, whatever the matchup is, it just doesn't work. And it's crazy. I don't know. Like, during this game, though, you can see that they're actually trying to shoot high on UC Saros. And, like, I don't know why it took him 7 games to fucking start doing that. Like, it makes sense. He's not a big guy. Like, he looks silly when you shoot high because he goes down so quickly. And
like Pecorini going to play the puck behind the net, it's like you gotta like account for that, like their playing style right there.
Yeah, and yeah, oh my god, that game last year drove me crazy when they kept dumping the puck in and then just getting it taken out.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden they wake up. Wyatt Kalynuk gets his 3rd of the season. And then that started the epic comeback. Vinny Hinostroza gets his first of the season back with the Hawks. Kubalik gets his 15th of the year. Hawks go then on a 4-minute power play after DeBrincat gets high stick. And I was like, okay, here we go. We're going to win this in regulation. Let's go. God, who would have thought a 4-minute power play could have been such a momentum killer for the Hawks?
Yeah.
They could not get anything going. I think they had 1 shot in that 4-minute power play.
Yeah, it was bad. There's like times when they get like the teams to open up and they get a lot of chances, and then there's times they're just passing the puck around. And it's just like, okay, let's do something.
So we force it to overtime, and then the Hagel show opens up, comes into the zone, fucking absolute snap top tit.
It's so good.
Unbelievable. He joined Seabrook as the 2nd Hawk rookie with 2 overtime goals in franchise history.
Love it.
Pretty good stat. Pretty good stat.
Love Hagel.
Like we were saying, his contract's up. He hasn't played enough to qualify for like true RFA status, so he cannot be offer sheet from another team. It basically comes down to you got to sign with the Hawks. Pretty much, the Hawks have the ball in their court. They can do whatever they want with him, and hopefully, they give him an 8-year deal.
That's all I want. Just give him the 8-year deal. Like, I want to see Hagel all the time.
Stan, this is the one time I'm letting you do something stupid. Do it.
Yeah, full no trade clause. I don't care.
So the
sign them long term.
Yeah, boys are flying high after the game on Wednesday, so you think that it would carry over, and it doesn't. Of course, it doesn't.
They're playing Nashville, man.
Yeah, it went back to Subban again. Do you think that was the right move?
I mean, I think they just thought that, like, hey, he got the win the day before. Like, he didn't play bad in that game. It was like just like the previous game. He got left hanging out to dry. He just got goal support. And I mean, you're kind of just going with whoever's getting the wins.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I just didn't know if it was like maybe one of those things like you would want to give Lincoln the shot back after that performance on Monday, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a tight first period. Then Nashville scores 2 in the second. Johansson and Kunin. So Kunin scored 3 straight games against the Hawks. Eric Hula scored. Hala, whatever. I don't give a shit anymore.
Hala
Gives us scores in the third. Vinny Hinostroza scores his second back-to-back games. It was like one of those goals too that it was like one that snuck through the goal, slowly went over the goal line. They had to review it. I'm like, that was in, like, the momentum was the Hawks' way. And then I think having to do the review to confirm it kind of killed the momentum swing that was probably going to go the Hawks' way a little bit, because after that, Nashville just shut them down and didn't let anything to the net. Nothing close. So they dropped that game 3-1. Nashville finishes the season 7-0-1 against the Hawks, which, if you're trying to beat them in the playoffs to make them in the playoffs, that's it's probably not the strategy you want.
No, that's a anti-strat. I wonder how different it would be if the Hawks, or if the city of Chicago and the governor allowed fans at the United Center at all, because the Hawks are the only team in the NHL in America that doesn't have plans to or doesn't already allow fans.
I mean, Lightfoot said before the game on Wednesday, one day this week, that she doesn't see a reason why there can't be fans for the Bulls and Hawks by the end of their season. And I was like, oh, awesome. Okay. And then I looked, and there's like 3 games left. Yeah.
But like, how many are at home, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And that kind of goes to something too, kind of with what we're going to talk about when we get to NHL talk with Robin Lehner about kind of what he was talking about. But so the Hawks have 2, 3, 5 more. So 5 of their 8 are at home.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah. The only road games coming up are Carolina.
Yeah. So, it does. I know some people don't buy that, but I totally think that does play a huge difference, having that crowd behind you and then just have that.
Rather than just like crowd audio that's like pumped into the stadium. That's like, oh yeah. Like it's, you know, how delayed and shit, you know, because they can't really tell what just happened.
I mean, we've both been to games at the United Center with sold out crowds where like a big goal happens and it just goes fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like it made, and then like, even, I know we've never played professional hockey, but playing just like when I was playing high school, we would have like packed games and scoring a goal and hearing the fans, like, you know, going crazy. Like it was like, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's do that again kind of thing.
Yeah.
It does play a big part of it. And yeah, I mean, that definitely possibly hurt them a lot this year.
Yeah, it's horseshit, but whatever.
So with that, the Hawks are 5 points back of the last playoff spot. They are 3 points behind Dallas for that 5th spot. The quick look at the schedule: they got Tampa on Tuesday, Florida Thursday, Saturday, Carolina May 3rd, 4th. Is it May 4th? That's not 3 in a row like that, is it? No, the 3rd, 4th, and 6th.
Yeah, 3rd, 4th, and 6th.
And then they wrap things up against Dallas, the 9th and the 10th. And we're pretty much in agreement here that unless the only way that there's really a shot that the Hawks have is if Nashville and Dallas forget how to play hockey.
Yep. And the Hawks win everything.
Been out. We looked at the schedules before. I'm not going to do it again. Nashville
Nashville has the easiest schedule of the 3 teams to end
Dallas,
the season.
I think, has the hardest.
Dallas and us have like the same schedule. We're both playing Tampa, Florida, Carolina, and then we finish the season against each other.
They got Columbus too.
Oh, do they? Oh, I mean, that's not that bad.
Yeah. So
Columbus also just everybody thinks Detroit and us are going to be the last place team. Guess what? Columbus was like, nah, homie.
Yeah, that was a huge shocker. I had them more in like the position the Hawks were in, them like fighting for that last playoff spot.
Yeah, I had them around like 5.
Yeah.
So I figured Tampa would be in it, Florida would be like floating around there, and Carolina would be in it, and Dallas too.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think what the Hawks are going to be able to do is, I mean, play your young guys, get them as much ice time as possible against these really good teams, and then fucking just try and murder Dallas. Just try and keep Dallas from making a playoff spot. That'd be hilarious. I mean, it'd be shitty to help Nashville, but I love just like playing spoilers for like.
Oh yeah, it's playing spoilers is so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it sucks that this is how it's gonna go down because it felt all year like this team could surprise a lot of players. I mean, granted, this team did still surprise a lot of people. Nobody expected this. I did not expect this at all. I expected them.
Expectations low, baby.
Yeah, like you, Tanner, you broke the code. You.
So it's been, I mean, a very exciting season just to see all like the breakout guys that we have. Like,
yeah, it's like our
getting these young guys this ice time has been fantastic.
It's been a great preview of what this team's going to be looking like in a couple of years because let's be honest, I mean, they're going to be playing for a little bit longer, so they're still young, but Kane's not getting younger. Toews isn't getting younger. Keith is definitely not getting younger. Like, we're going to need to start seeing the next core develop and come up and be a part of this team. And this year has been a nice, like, before the season, I was worried because I was like, where is this team going in 3, 4, 5, 6 years? This has been a great breather. Like, it was like, oh, okay, not bad. We are going to be doing okay. We got, like, it's going to be good developments.
Yeah.
We're adding pieces at the deadline. We're getting draft picks to hopefully add some more pieces to this. I think they're in a great position. And once we get full team, full healthy, full season, I think the team's on the right path.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely like surprised a lot of people this year, which has been good because the last couple seasons have been just dog shit.
Let me ask you this real quick because I was just thinking about it because of Nashville. I was on the Catfish podcast, which is the Nashville Predators podcast and the Hockey Podcast Network on Thursday, and they asked us where we saw the rivalry between Nashville and Chicago. I call them a third tier rival.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, because it goes. I think at this point it's like St. Louis is 1. I think Detroit's always going to be like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then I think it's Nashville, Minnesota. Because I just love to beat Minnesota.
And they fucking love that. They're like, oh, that's an honor to be called a third tier rival to a storied franchise. I was like, damn it, why are you guys so cool? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, damn it. Like,
well, we fucking play Nashville so goddamn much.
Yeah.
I mean, Nashville used to just be our second home because there'd be so many Chicago fans that would just travel there, and like Nashville fans would not show up.
I mean, they made a rule that you have to have a Tennessee ID to get tickets.
Yeah, it's like you can't have a Chicago license or some shit. It's weird.
But yeah, so you got anything else on this last week or this upcoming week?
I mean, I just want to keep the like good hockey going. That's all. I mean, I don't want them to like be like, fuck, man, like we're not in the playoffs, and then just like watch dog shit hockey and like have them get murdered every game.
It sucked too because we were like expecting. We said last episode that this entire week was going to feel like playoff hockey, and the only game that felt like that was the third period of the Wednesday game.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of the last time we were in the playoffs and Nashville swept us, so that's great.
That's fair.
It's like, fuck.
Oh man. So also then on Wednesday, Darren Dreger was talking and said that expectations on Jonathan Toews or his condition is getting much better. He's out for the rest of this season, but if things continue to progress the way are, he should be back next year, which kind of goes in line with what I've heard about what's going on with him. It's just great news. Just great to hear that he's doing okay. And every time he gets brought up, like stuff like this, people are like, just tell us what it is, like what's going on with him. It's like, I'm still in like the camp of it's nobody's business. It's his medical history. It's if he wants to talk about it, he can talk about it, but there's no reason for him to have to disclose that to us.
No, absolutely not. It's a private matter, you know. Like,
and
I understand when it's like something like an injury and people are like, oh, like I want to know what the injury is just to like get like a timetable, but it's like if it's an illness, like
it's just this, and people speculating what it could be, like the stupid rumor about him having ALS. There's been like I saw somebody trying to say that it's like an opioid addiction and
Jesus
all this.
Christ.
Yeah, I'm like,
people are just making shit up.
Yeah,
like that's how the worst.
Yeah, it's like just let him be. So yeah, that was good news there. And right before we attempted to record the first time, it broke that Riley Stillman signed a 3-year extension with the Hawks for an average hit of $1.35 million per year.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I think he's been pretty decent. I think there's room to grow, but he shows like good signs of like good decision making.
Yeah, and I mean, like we said, that's a low risk, high reward type of deal right there. That's definitely a prove it deal. If I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I think he'll be 27 by the end of the deal. So he'll be a UFA at the end of it.
No, he'll be 26. So he still might be a UFA. Oh no,
because it starts next year.
Yeah, you're right. We talked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Good shit.
Yeah, you got anything else for Hawks talk?
No, I mean, it's gonna be a tough road to the end of the season. So let's just, I don't know, get some wins. Like the teams that we're playing, I'll have 31 dubs, and then I forgot I mentioned before, but Dallas, like when you look at their record, you're like, oh fuck, how are they like in 5th with only 20 wins? And you look at them, they have 12 fucking OT losses.
But that's what you have to do, man. Especially in these shortened seasons, like you have to just get that extra at that point. Like you push it to overtime. Like look at the difference it makes. Yeah,
like if you can lose, if any game you lose just happens to be an OT, then you're gonna be good for like that season.
That kind of happened with us in 2013. Like we went on that ridiculous win streak. It was we were winning, and then when we were losing, it was overtime losses. Like
I think there was only like 2 or 3 though.
Yeah, but it was like we were pushing it through. I think through that whole season though, it was like we were pushing a lot of games to overtime, which made a difference. But
absolutely, I mean, if your team was to lose every game in OTE, I mean, you'd have an 82-point season. That's not bad.
Yeah.
You win a couple games here and there, maybe you end up with like 94 points, and that'd be crazy. Well, yeah, man, fuck. I wish they would lose some in regulation, and then we could be closer to a playoff spot. But that's not what's happening.
We'd still be 5 points behind Nashville. But
but I wouldn't feel as bad being in 6th place.
Yeah, how many of those though did we beat? Dallas, I mean, those games going overtime.
Oh, I don't know. 1, 2. Yeah, I just want to I just think it'd be really great to be like last game of the season. Dallas needs like a point.
Yeah, and we just shut them out.
And we go about to go into like OT, and we just pull our goalie and get a goal. just to keep them out. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm just hoping I just hope they don't roll over the rest of this way.
Yeah, that's really all.
Oh, none of our games against Dallas went to overtime.
Oh
no, one did. Two did.
There you go. Okay, so you're wrong.
Right. You're right. I was wrong. You're
Sounds
smart.
good.
I'm dumb.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'll switch over to NHL talk real quick. Well, since we're talking about playoffs, we have 3 teams that have clinched playoff spots so far. Vegas Golden Knight have gone 4 in a row, and that's actually all 4 seasons in their franchise history they've made the playoffs.
They don't know what it's like to not be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Spoiled fans.
Colorado has made their 4th consecutive playoff appearance by clinching this year. And then Minnesota clinched last night or Saturday night, and that's 8 out of their last 9 seasons they have made the playoffs.
They've been like sneaky good this year. Like you don't hear a lot, except for I guess you hear about like Kaprizov.
Yeah.
I think he's like the whole reason like that.
Oh, yeah.
From just not really paying attention and seeing that they're winning and hearing about Kaprizov, he's apparently their whole team. That's all I could figure out.
Yeah, he scored his 22nd last night.
Kid's putting up points.
The kid's good, and he had a great goal against LA. Just absolutely walk. I forgot what defenseman was, but just the nice little between the legs, like how you doing, walk around and just buries it. It was filthy. The kid's good. And it's like we were talking about how we always talk about Minnesota. Like, what are they? They're just a boring hockey team. And he's giving
Minnesota mild.
Yeah, they're giving him a little flash, and it's going to be interesting to see how they develop over the next couple seasons.
Yeah, Gabrick 2.0.
Yeah. Detroit, Columbus, New Jersey, I think are the only teams that have been eliminated from
Buffalo.
Playoffs. Oh, and Buffalo, yeah. So
Ottawa probably happens soon.
Ottawa's got to be soon.
I saw this one thing like last week I forgot to mention, but when Detroit was in last in our division, all of the division like last place teams were the teams that were in the Final Four in like 2007.
Jesus.
Because it was Ottawa versus Buffalo, and it was Anaheim versus Detroit. And it's like, damn.
Yeah,
Time takes its toll.
Anaheim's got to be eliminated soon.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh man, Philadelphia.
I think it's just hilarious to me that like the 3 teams that are the 3 teams that are in the playoffs are all in the one division.
Yeah, that's stupid. I'm surprised too. Like, it's unreal how close like entertaining these divisions have actually been. Like the East Division, Washington, Pittsburgh, New York Islanders, and Boston. It's a 6-point difference between first and fourth.
Yeah, I really hope that New York can somehow like come back and just knock Boston out. Philly's been such a disappointment this year.
Such a disappointment.
Yeah, I think it's great that St. Louis is not in a playoff spot right now, but they have a few games in hand. Ooh, let's look at St. Louis's schedule. Oh, they just beat Colorado. What is with the fucking sirens? Jesus Christ.
Chicago, bud.
That's right.
Oh man. There's
I was like, is it right outside my apartment? I don't think so.
They have Colorado, Minnesota,
Anaheim, Vegas, LA, and they finish in Minnesota. They can not make a playoff spot. That'd be great.
I mean, yeah, it's a tough schedule. Like
Anaheim's only easy games, and I don't think they played well against Anaheim. Really,
kind of easy, I think too.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. St. Louis hasn't been that good this year, and like there's times where I was paying attention to like LA and Anaheim, and LA had like shut them out like twice. It's like damn, something like that.
LA, I mean, they're looking at what the record is. They're 17, 22 and 6. That's a lot better than I thought they were going to be this year.
Yeah.
That's yeah. And then North Division, Toronto's pretty much running away with it.
Yeah, I feel like a couple of weeks ago, like Winnipeg and Toronto were much more neck and neck.
They just swept Winnipeg, and they're back to back with them. And Winnipeg's on a 3-game losing streak now.
Speaking of the North Division, Vancouver started back up. They got their fucking brutal schedule like going forward, but so far they're 3-1.
Back-to-back wins against Toronto.
Yeah.
So funny.
And the best is the little meme like win. They got their 69th franchise win against the Leafs on 420 in a game that consisted of a combined total of 69 shots.
Too cool, man.
It's ridiculous.
So fucking funny. I just love two people like who's the one that discovered that? Like are you sitting there like just looking up like, oh, cool 420 stuff, and somehow you discover that?
I mean, somebody out there was just like, yo, check this shit out. Like, what the fuck?
Some other cool stats that happened. So Crosby got his 55th point on Saturday night. So that would guarantee him his 16th consecutive season with a point per game average. He is now 1 season behind Gordie Howe for the second most of that streak. And he is 3 behind Gretzky for the most. So you were kind of bringing this up. We were talking about this before we were recording. That also includes the years that he had shortened seasons. And I said, yeah, so maybe there should be an asterisk on that. But you brought up a great point that the years
he was dominating those years. Like those would have been for sure like 100-point seasons, though. Like the one thing that's disappointing about those shortened seasons is the fact that, like, can you imagine how many more points Crosby would have if he didn't have those concussion issues? And like how different of a player he's been since he came back. Like he was crazy fucking good and then came back and was just like crazy good.
It's kind of it's crazy to think with him that it's like when it's all said and done for him, he's going to be known as one of the most dominant players in the game's history. And he's also going to be known as probably the one player that kind of got cheated the most for his career because the amount of time he missed because of concussions, holy shit. Like,
yeah, it sucks because you don't want to see that happen to any of your star players.
If the NHL needs anything, they need their stars players to do good. They need somebody. I don't think he would have been in the conversation of Gretzky for points, but look how great it is here in Ovechkin. Like, oh man, look how close he is to goals. Like just having like Crosby, like, oh, can Crosby somehow find a way to like, do points or, like,
well, if Crosby would have been like on the road to like second in points, like that would be fucking amazing too.
Yeah.
But
look how great it's been for Patrick Marleau passing Gordie Howe with games played. Like,
oh my God, I forgot about that. But real quick, there's also Crosby set the Pittsburgh record for 20 plus goal seasons for 13 seasons. And Mario Lemieux only had 12, and Malkin has 12 as well. So a little franchise record there as well on the goal that he had last night. Yeah. I think it was the goal that he had that was the point per game and 20 goal seasons, which is pretty cool. And then how about those Patrick Marleau fucking gloves that had the old Toronto Maple Leaf logo on it that he never wore, and then it also said like congratulations or whatever, like most games played, 168th NHL games,
68th.
Yeah. It's just like, well, I can't think of what the number is. 17. Yes, what did I say? 168th.
Yeah.
17,068th NHL games.
1,768th, not 17,000.
Fuck, man, I can't do numbers.
I can't say names. You can't do math right now. We're good.
That's so dumb. Yeah, but it was just because I'm trying to say like this dumb fucking way that they wrote it.
What they did, it was so like I don't understand how that went through so many people, and not one person was like, "Hey, let's change this. This isn't right."
Yeah, like you either go 1,768th game or 1,768 NHL games. Like
not both.
Not both. You can't combine them. That's not how the language works.
God. Yeah, that's just some. Who did those CCM?
Yeah, I think so.
Fucked up CCM. That's why you're trash. Anyway. But yeah, that was cool for him.
Editor.
And then the whole thing with they were doing like messages from like, former teammates and all that. And Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews were doing a video, saying congratulations and all that. And as they're doing it, you see in the background, like in the little room, there's like a hockey stick sticking out. And I'm like, what's that going to be? And then all of a sudden they finish up their message and Jumbo Joe Thornton just walks through and they censored up like he was naked, like underneath there. And he's just like staring at the camera. It was so funny.
I love it.
But yeah, so another big thing that happened this week, and we're going to wrap it up on this. Robin Lehner, who everybody knows his story about mental health and all that kind of stuff, had a 11-minute press conference just kind of roasting the NHL about going back on promises that they allegedly made. Now it's still, I don't know. It's weird because let's see what he talked about first. So here I have a little bit of what he said, just basically talking about that the leagues, in short, said if once teams get fully vaccinated, players will be able to, they'll loosen up the restrictions on what the players can do. Like they would be able to, go out, do more different things. Like, cause it's like right now it's like you essentially have to go to the rink and go home, go to go to the airport, go to the hotel, go to certain restaurants. Like one restaurant you can go to, it's very tough on the players. Like they can't do much.
Right. You're stuck doing a set schedule for all day, every day.
Yeah. So Lehner talked about, so here at some point you're going to start looking at the mental health of people around us, not just the NHL, but everyone in society, and see how can we start getting back to normalcy, because the problem is going to be huge. But lying to us about things changing to kind of force us to take the vaccine, unacceptable. And now that we've taken the vaccine, to have the excuse of saying, nah, we're not changing because a competitive advantage is outrageous. So he went on to clarify, like on Twitter, that basically like he's just frustrated, like most people are in the world. Everything didn't come out the way that he wanted to in that press conference. But his main point was that they need to start taking mental health seriously. In the situation, has a huge impact on everyone's society. But to put competitive edge before the well-being of people's lives is wrong. As I said, people are struggling with many different things mentally, and we need to consider that as well. Then being lied to makes it worse. I love hockey, and the league has done a lot of good things. He got some flack because he kind of compared to their situation as being in prison. Which he came back and he apologized for. But then the other night, so the NHL, after this happened, he came out and said, the NHL said that this isn't true. They never made promises, blah, blah, blah. He came out on the 23rd, which was Friday, and an email that he received that was confirmed that the Vegas players received this email from the league. And it's weird because it's got the NBA and NBA Players Association logo on it. Basically saying like changes that are coming once you're vaccinated.
Oh, weird.
So he was like, and he tweets this out, this screenshot of this email and just saying, yeah, I just make things up, I guess. And basically it was saying that no quarantine following exposure to COVID-19. You're allowed to have visitors. no daily point of care testing, and no testing on a day off. You can start doing like in-person sponsorship or marketing events again. You can dine outdoors at restaurants, and you can go visit your own personal health staff. Once teams are fully vaccinated, no mask are required at practice facilities. On the road, you can have a more flexible to leave the team hotel. Um, Everybody can have food served on team flights because
So
now,
wait, you said that this had the NBA logo on
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Why did it have the NBA logo?
Because I don't know. That's what's the weird thing about it. So this is what's the Vegas players were sent, and it's got the NBA stuff. So people are saying if the NHL sent this, maybe they sent it as a like, oh well, if it gets out, no, that's NBA. We don't have that's not our
That's
thing.
weird.
But yeah, the meals are served on flights again because now they can only do like X amount of players can eat at a time on the flight. They have to like, it's like a schedule.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. In-person team meetings would be allowed again, and dining indoors, outdoors, at restaurants would be allowed as a team, and tests can be done earlier in the day before 5 p.m. So it's what I love about Lehner is that he calls the bullshit out, especially with this like mental health stuff, and
Yeah.
which I absolutely love him for. Now it's basically though a game of like he said type of thing, like what is the truth behind all this? But it's like something does have to change for these players, like especially if there was a promise for the vaccine. If you get the vaccine and it's like just do it. There's no competitive advantage. Like, yeah, like I
The
don't
competitive advantage is like not having mental stress of like being stuck inside.
like, yeah, like I don't understand how that's even a valid. And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the fans in the stands. Where's the competitive advantage there with, the
Yeah.
Hawks have no fans at home, and then when they go on the road, they have to play in front of fans of the other team.
Yeah.
I know it's two different things, mental health and fans in the stands, but it's like what's the difference there?
Yeah. If you're talking about competitive advantage, like it should be if your whole team is vaccinated, then yeah, you should get the competitive advantage because you did the right thing.
Yeah.
Like there's an incentive to doing that. Like, and then I don't know, like just take that away when that just seems ridiculous.
It just kind of goes to the whole thing too with this whole COVID like situation in general, where it's like in the long run, yeah, a lot of these people are doing this for the right reasons, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't make sense. Some of the things they're doing, like Ontario just essentially closed down again completely. They just had to cancel the women's world championship because Nova Scotia and their like Providence, they said pretty much no, it's not happening because of COVID protocol, which is weird. They were saying like Kendall Coyne put a whole post about that too, saying like it doesn't make sense because they followed the rules that were set out in front of them. Every single person, every country that came into Canada for those tests or whatever coming in tested negative. Everything was clear and all that kind of stuff. So they don't understand. So now their whole tournament got canceled because of like Ontario, Nova Scotia. I don't know if they're in Ontario, but Nova Scotia just changing their protocol. So
that's weird.
It's weird.
I wonder if they could hold the tournament anywhere else.
I saw they were looking into moving to Dallas.
Okay.
But I don't know if that is a realistic thing, if there's enough time to actually do it, if they would push it towards like maybe later in the summer or whatnot. But because they moved the men's U18 World Championship down to Dallas, and that kicks off, I think, tomorrow or today as this is posted.
Cool.
So, but yeah, I mean, Lehner always. It's funny because he looks like the crazy mad conspiracy type guy when you see him because he's just got the long beard, the crazy hair, and all that. But he always has good points, and the fact that there is an advocate that's so vocal and makes his presence known for mental health. I mean, I love that. I think more players need to step up and kind of advocate mental health because, I mean, it's a huge issue that still has this really bad stigma to it that if you have mental health issues, you're you're a broken person, or there's something wrong with you type of thing, when it's just like any other thing in life. It's like, there's something going on, but you still need the support, you still need the help and all that kind of stuff, and you just got to ask for it.
I agree.
So, but yeah, sorry, it was like weird. We had to talk about that with Lehner. Anything you want to talk about real quick? Maybe not, and then such like a downer thing.
No, dude. That's
okay. So we're ending on downer.
I don't know. No, because there's not really much else that I can think of league wide that has changed. I mean, I don't know. We got playoffs coming up soon, man.
Playoffs coming up, yeah. Couple weeks. We got that going on. I want to see. I thought somebody sent me a writing pine.
We're almost in May already, so it's last like 2.5 weeks of hockey or something like that. When does the season end officially?
Season ends, I think, the 10th, which is a Monday.
The 19th.
I guess with everything changing
because of Vancouver.
Yeah, that makes more sense now. So it got pushed back a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's like I'm looking at the little schedule and it says like there's one game the 14th, one game the 15th, one the 16th, one the 18th, and one the 19th.
Which is hilarious too. Like, I wonder if it gets to a point where playoff spots are confirmed, a clinch and all that kind of stuff, if they end up just canceling those games.
I don't know, because if it has like any kind of ramifications on like the standings of those clinch spots.
Does it say who's got those games?
Well, it's Vancouver and Calgary are like the last few. So maybe if Calgary is out of it and Vancouver is out of it, then they just go, fuck it. Like, yeah. It's the last 3 games of the year, Vancouver, Calgary.
Which literally would have nothing to do. What if they play those games, but they also have playoff games going on at the same time?
Yeah, just you guys can just keep playing amongst yourselves. We'll play the meaningful hockey over here.
Yeah, the 15th and the 14th might be the only ones that really matter, because those are, well, they're all TBD time, so maybe they might cancel them. They might just be waiting to see if they have any
like push on the significance. That makes sense.
I think by that point, it's gonna be fairly close. So the 13th is technically the end of the season.
No, the 14th it has a time for Toronto. Oh wait, that's Toronto Winnipeg. So never mind. All the Vancouver games are all TBD.
All right. Well, interesting. So hopefully, we'll do that. Had a very good episode coming up. Very excited for it. One we've been working on for a while. So that'll be fun. You will make sure you're following us on Instagram and Twitter and all that to see when that's going to drop and why it's so exciting. At WCB Podcast. Follow us on Spotify. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. 5 stars. Leave a review. Check out the Hockey Podcast Network. Go to DraftKings. Lose some money. With the promo code THPN. Yeah. Other than that,
lose that money.
Anything else, bud?
I got nothing.
All right.
Let's go Hawks.
All right. So what do you want to call this one?
Oh, no. Just, oh, no.
Oh, no. All right. So for Tanner and Jarom, we'll see you on the next one.
See you later, boys. Bye.